Good evening, everyone, or good morning. If you tell where my head is. We're still here, and I'm afraid the recovery from COVID is going to take a little bit longer. So if there's some coughing and carrying on, please excuse me, but I'm doing the best I can do here. So our Father is with us, and I know that He has a message for us. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I always do have a message for you. And today I'm going to go back over something that I've probably only have spoken to you 100 or so times about. The most important thing, one of the most important things that you need to live your life according to my commands, is faith. Faith is incredibly important. You see, I could step forward and I could prove to all of you that I exist. I could form an image right now. I could do many things. But life isn't like that. You see, I want you to believe in me. I want you to believe that I exist. And I want you to believe that there's a small part of my energy in every human, because that's the way it is. Proof is what I want proof to be. Have you ever thought about that? Barry interviews many of the most brilliant scientists that ever lived, great intellectuals. But many of them get carried away with proof. You see, they spend their lives and use those incredible minds to try to prove a concept for humans. Well, I could snap my fingers and do that, but I don't. And in many instances, they come up with so called proof that isn't really proof. Now, they think it is. They're totally convinced that the concept that they came up with is a physical law. But you see, I control the physical laws. If I want to bend light, I'll bend it. If I want light to go straight, I'll make it go straight. If I want you to understand how I created the universe, I will help you understand that. If I want you to flounder around and try to come up with the concept on your own for generations, then that's the way it'll be as well. You see, I try to do what is best for humans. When I watch humans, sometimes I don't know what to think. It appears as though humans are capable of making all the bad decisions. In spite of everything that I've done, I send them angels, I send them guides, I send family spirits back, I send Holy Spirits that have served me. Excuse me. But as I watch, it seems to make no difference at times. I want humans to live peacefully. Why is that such a big deal? I keep telling them to follow the golden rule, do unto others as you have them do unto you. It is so utterly simple. If you just treated somebody else the way you wanted to be treated, then there would be no problems. But people always want more power. They want more money. They want their egos. They want power. They want to be able to control others. This isn't the way that I want things. I want everyone to be essentially equal in my, well, everyone is equal in my eyes. When you return to heaven, you understand the true equality. Now, people that serve me come to higher realms of heaven because they're going to serve me again, and I want to reward them for it. People that ignored me, well, they'll wind up in lower realms because the odds are pretty good they're not going to serve me if they refuse to serve me in that last life. How about the example where I give them great wealth and they choose to squander that wealth upon themselves and not help others? Well, the karma they create is they're going to not have that wealth the next time they return. That concept goes right over their heads because they think that money makes them God. Doesn't work like that. You see, I'm God, and I will do my best to have you attempt to be like me. Many people have succeeded. There are many people that serve me continuously. They reside on my upper levels, and I know when I ask them to do something, they will do it. They will do their very, very best. Now, they may fail. Failure is part of life. And I don't penalize people for failure as long as they're doing the best they can do. Why would I do that? Why would I penalize someone for trying to do the best they can do? Circumstances may not allow it. I understand that. Circumstances may force them to fail. Sometimes failure is a good thing. Individuals learn from failure. Many of the greatest people that Barry has ever talked to have failed. Milton Hershey failed several times. Many of the great, great philanthropists know failure. Sometimes I think failure is very important. If you don't fail, you don't really understand the great feeling when you truly succeed. Doing the best you can, that's all I ask of you. Follow my words. Follow what you know is right. Don't let yourself go astray. Don't fall under the illusion that just because you have money, that you can hurt others and not pay the price for it. Life is so incredibly simple. I've tried to make it that way. Humans, for thousands of years, have complicated it as much as possible. Now, I know many of you listening out there today are saying, there he goes again. He's being very, very simple. He is saying things, oh my goodness, he's saying things that are common sense. Well, I try. You see, I could make these conversations so simple, so complicated that no one would ever understand them. That's the problem that has taken place with many of the Gospels in my Bible. When I walked the earth, I could not have spoken more simply. I healed people, I helped them live ordinary lives, and I did nothing to complicate their lives. I spoke to them directly. I told them what I wanted of them. I told them I wanted them to live a good life, and if they do, they will be with me in heaven. I had to tailor some of the words. I didn't want everybody to understand the concept that they were coming to heaven because I wanted them to try to do better so that when they got there, they would have more success. But I spoke simply. Many people heard my words, and many people would hear the same word and interpret it differently. That's also human nature because they like to complicate things. How could it be that this man, this person that told the individuals they were the Son of God, could speak so simply? Well, that's the way I wanted it. I needed everyone to understand. I wasn't speaking to the true intellectuals of the time. The Romans that controlled the countryside, the emperors, I knew I would have little effect upon them. I knew there would be a time that my followers would have a large effect upon them. But I also knew that was hundreds of years away. So why would I waste my time speaking to the intellectuals who would ignore me? I knew that the Jewish priests would resent and hate me. Did not make sense because I was Jewish and I never told them that I was the king of the Jews. They made that up. If they would have followed my words, everything could have been well. But I knew that they would not, under any circumstances, follow my words. I knew they would insist upon my death, and they did. My death was very important. If I hadn't died, I couldn't resurrect. So the Jewish priests had to be the key to that chain of events. I knew that my death was going to be incredibly painful, not only for my followers, but for my family, for everyone around me. I truly loved everyone that followed me and tried to advance my teachings. Now, I truly love everyone, but I knew that those around me were doing their best to bring my words to others. I was starting from zero. No one ever heard of Christ before I was born. It is only through the assistance, shall we say, of my followers, my family, the angels. It was only through how they took my words after my death and expanded them. Did you ever stop and think that what would have happened if the Romans killed all of my followers? Then no one would have spread my words. You see, that was why I protected those that followed me through all of the events of the crucifixion and resurrection. They had to be the survivors because I knew I was headed home. I knew that my mission was over, but I knew that their missions were only beginning. Today, I would like you to think about the fact that many of your missions are still only beginning. You've heard the background information. You know what I want of you. You know what is right and you know what is wrong. You now know what is truth and you know what is fiction. You now have all of the information that you need to proceed with each of your individual missions. There's now no excuse. You see, I have provided written words. I have provided verbal words. I have provided the information in any format that you wish, because now you have no excuses. You know what my words are. You know what my wishes are. You know what it takes for humans to advance. That is not going to change. The simplicity of my message is no longer going to be destroyed by others. You see, I had the words printed exactly as I spoke them. There is no excuse for not understanding my words and what I want of each and every one of you. 2,000 years ago, there are excuses. People had to memorize what I was saying. Everyone's memory is different. During the years, the church thought that I could not simply have spoken those words. But today, you know exactly what I want of you. You know exactly how I want humans to advance. You know everything that you now need to know. If you do not act upon the information that I've made available to you now, well, that's up to you. You can strive to live a good life, and you can do the best you can without trying to expand your influence, your positive influence on others. That is your personal decision. But I want you to understand that now you have no excuses. Now I have given you every tool that you require. And I'm going to keep continuing to come back and speak with you. I will try to make it easier for you to help others. I will try to make it as easy as I can for you to live a good life. That's all I want. I want you to live a good life, help others, and do the best you can do. If each human does the best they can do, within generations, you will truly see the change that I would love to see. If each individual sits back and decides that they're not going to do anything, then you will not see anything. It becomes pretty simple. So thank you for all listening today. It was a little bit different, but I think it's time that everyone understands what I want of them. There is no doubt. I want you to live a good life. I want you to love me, and I want you to love others. I want you to coexist, and I want you to help the young understand that if they do not change, future generations may not be here. So thank you. We'll be back again next week. Barry feels a little bit better each week. I'll see to that. So thank you so much. I bless all of you. I bless you in ways that you cannot imagine. All I want of you is to live a good life. Goodbye. Okay, there's quite a message this week, but then every week is pretty much amazing to me. I sit in and listen to it myself, and I got to go back and try to understand it. So thank you all. Please tell your friends about it. It's not a big deal, but some will listen and some will be appreciative of the information that you give them. So goodbye. We'll be back again next week.